Dissolve your borders. Dissolve your borders. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Confiscate your guns. Ban American energy. Wipe out private health care. 180 million people. Terminate religious liberty. This is for the women who live in the suburbs. They want to destroy your suburbs. And I ended the rule that was going to destroy. I ended the regulation that was going to destroy. I kept hearing that women from the suburbs won't like Trump. I said, why? Because I'm stopping crime. You're going to have suburbs be safe. Suburbs, you're having safe suburbs. And you're not going to have low-income housing projects built next to your house. We ended the regulation that would have destroyed your suburbs. It's amazing how the women like me all of a sudden. And as you know, the Democrats, they want to cut our military to the bone, and we built the greatest military right now in the history of our country, frankly, in the history of the world. Biden will surrender your jobs to China. He will surrender your future to the virus, and he will surrender your country to the radical socialist left. And you see that happening. The only thing Biden wants to do is get as much as he can for himself. Have you been watching this whole thing play out? I didn't know anything about it. Oh, here's a picture of Biden playing golf with these people. I didn't know my son was taking money from Burisma. I didn't know my son got $3.5 billion from the mayor of Moscow's wife. I wonder why. And then you see all the things, right? That we have to give the man 10%. We have to give the man 10%, right? Ah, boy. I'll tell you what. Nobody's ever seen. And the media, right, and big tech, they won't allow it. Charlie Kirk, you know Charlie Kirk, great guy? They shut down his site because he mentioned it. Look, he's a corrupt politician, this guy. He's a corrupt politician. To get the power, Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control of his party over to the socialists, the communists, the Marxists, and the left-wing extremists. And that's before we get to his own personal corruption, which is more than anybody in history. I say this, it's the second biggest scandal politically in the history of our country. Number one was spying on my campaign and getting caught. Biden even chose as his running mate the most liberal senator in America, Kamala. Senator Kamala Harris is a sponsor of the Socialist Green New Deal and legislation to strip away the private health plans of 180 million Americans. And you know, her and Bernie Sanders want to do something in Arizona. They have some deal in Arizona where your taxes are going to go way up. You know that, right? Your governor, who's right over here, your great governor, was saying he's not happy with it. But Bernie Sanders, the second most liberal person, you know, she's first, right? She's considered first. They want to raise your taxes 8.5%. So I'm glad to, right, Governor? He's saying more. It's probably more. What is the name of that, Governor? Rule what? Right? You know about it? Okay, you can't have him in because they control Biden 100%. Biden is shot. You know he's shot, right? These guns, though. Harris also urged their supporters to donate to a fund that bailed out the rioters, the ones that knocked out your towns, your cities. Not in Republican areas, by the way, all in Democrat areas. You look at Portland, how about that? We would have taken 15 minutes, we could have solved that. We told the governor, Democrat, let us in, we'll solve that problem. We went into Minneapolis, it took us a half an hour, that was over with. Unfortunately, they could have called a little earlier. And in Seattle, they gave up when they heard we were going in the next morning. But we would solve, look, all Democrat areas, New York going to hell. I feel so sad with New York. Crime is up 200, 250%. Cuomo. A terrible thing has happened in New York. Look at Chicago, Democrat again. Crime is through the roof. They had a weekend 87 people were shot and 16 died, okay? Now, do you believe? This isn't, hey, we're in Afghanistan. You don't lose many people. We're coming out, by the way. It's all coming. We're all coming back home. But you go to war zones, you don't have that. And we could solve it so easily. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, there's never been that chant before, seriously. We all like Ronald Reagan, I guess he'd be, but he never had that chant. We love you. Think of that. We love you. You're going to make me cry. Don't do that. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. Make me cry, you'll destroy my image, and then you won't love me anymore. That'll be terrible. I appreciate it. Now I do, and I feel the same way. That's why I'm doing this. I had a good life before I did this stuff, believe me. My life was very simple and very nice. The Democrat Party's war on cops is inciting riots and putting police officers and American families in very grave danger. Unlike Joe Biden, I will always support the heroes of law enforcement. And I was endorsed by almost every law enforcement group in the United States, including New York's finest, and Chicago, and Florida, and Texas, and Oklahoma, and every place. And I was just named, I have to say this happened today, the Man of the Year in their big magazine, the Blue Magazine, good name for Man of the Year. So I just tell you that, for whatever reason I tell you that. I'm the only one standing between you and a left-wing crusade. You know, you have people, they want to change our whole country. And the thing that's going to bring us back together is success. Because I'll tell you, we were ready. I was getting calls 7 months ago. We had the best employment numbers we ever had. We had the greatest success we've ever had. We were beating China at everything. You know, you kept hearing about China. We were beating everybody. And they were calling me, people that I wouldn't be speaking to generally. Let's get together. It was happening, and then we got hit by the China plague, and then we had to start all over again. But success brings us together. I saw it, and we saw it for 2 months. It was really going on. A new study of the Biden-Harris agenda found that their plans will crater the typical American family by more than $6,500. They're horrible, horrible plans to finance what? The new Green Deal. The Green New Deal is the craziest thing, right? No more airplanes, no more double cars, no more cows. If you have a ranch, you won't have cows anymore. No more you.